I know a lot of traders out there struggle, especially at the beginning of their career, their journey, the path they're taking to want to really make it and succeed as a day trader. Okay. Lots of you probably put money into an account and just watch it dwindle away, probably multiple times, and hopefully this video will kind of help curve that edge to maybe give you some positivity, some things to really to do, to look forward to, and turning your trading around so you don't continuously blow through your funds, okay, or capital that you place into your brokerage account, okay. So as a day trader, it is our goal to secure our funds, to watch them or try to get them, or to trade and continue to grow the capital that we have in our account. All right. Now, not every trade that we take is always going to work out 100%. We must understand that. All right. And don't get frustrated. But the key to really succeeding in this business is proper risk management. Knowing when you get into a trade, execute an entry, when to get out and know when to get out if that trade comes back against you. And that's why I love supply and demand so much, because I'm able to mark off those zones. And if price breaks outside of those zones, okay, I'm out, okay? Now, depending on the chart, your entry chart from which you actually execute your entries on, that stop loss, whether you have a mental or a hard stop, could vary, and that's why me personally, I don't recommend taking entries off of too large of a time frame chart, okay? Regardless if it's a range-based chart, time-based, volume, tick, it doesn't matter. I like to look at the higher time frame and always try my best to be in confluence with that. Now, sometimes I see great setups and I'll trade outside of the direction of the higher time frame when I see a great setup on my lower time frame. Yes, you can do that. But I would say I would recommend that for more experienced traders. If you're starting off, please try your best to follow the flow when using pair chart analysis, meaning looking at the higher time frame, trying to figure out which direction the overall market is moving, and then look for entries on your lower time frame, okay? And move in the direction of the higher time frame, all right? But this video is really about securing your capital, meaning and protecting it within your account, so that you don't continue to, bust your account each time. Watch those funds get depleted from your account, and then you have to start over from scratch, from zero. No one wants to blow through their money multiple times, okay? So let's talk about a few things that I believe that, maybe you want to take a look at as a trader that possibly will help you, like I said, curve that edge and really turning your trading around, all right? So first and foremost, you have to ask yourself this question. The first time you actually lost money, okay, or blown through your funds, was it a small amount or was it a large amount? If we're talking 5,000, I'm just keeping that 5,000, 500 or $1,000, that's not a lot of money, okay? Now, to some people, it may be a lot of money, but generally speaking, $500 or $1,000 or maybe even $2,000, it's not a lot of money. You have to understand one thing. What market are you actually trading, okay? All right, now the S&P 500, when it comes to the ES, overall is a very thick market, okay? Lots of volume traded there. And I recommend the traders to start off trading the MES, the micro ES, okay? The margin size is not a lot to get into it, meaning per contract. And the tick value is not very high, but still, if you're a beginner trader, you've got to start from somewhere to get your foothold in the market to determine if you're going to be able to do it or not, to get your feet wet, all right? So when I first started years ago, the micro was not an option. But now that the micros are an option, and for those that are looking to start off and want to trade the S&P 500, you have the micro ES, okay? I trade the E-minis. Yes, it's a step up. It does require more capital to be able to trade it. So the margin per contract is a lot greater. It's a lot more. So, but you can work your way up to that. That's what I'm trying to say. But start off small. So maybe you want to dump them, a few hundred, maybe a few thousand to your MES account if you're a micro trader, and start that way. But again, proper risk management, knowing where to get out. And that's why, like I said, supply and demand, by being able to determine what are high probability zones and knowing if price comes back against you and starts to close below or trade below that zone or above it, if it's a supply zone, then you know when to get out the market and protect your capital. And most times, you're more likely you're going to want to probably get out the trade sooner than waiting for it to blow past a supply or demand zone you have marked. Okay, now that's when you know you're really doing something correct. Is when you can really determine, all right, this trade is not going to work out. I took a trade off a demand zone, and now the market is starting to move up, but then it quickly turns back around and goes against you. And then when you see multiple candles, like the first candle closed below, second candle closed below, after that one to the downside, meaning you got one red candle, pulling back against you, and then that second red candle that closes, maybe go ahead and get out before it taps you out at the bottom end of the demand zone where you probably had your stop at. All right, so that way you're out sooner than later. Okay, so I recommend you doing that. Just knowing where to get out earlier than to protect your capital, and then the reverse if you are in a supply setup and the market's hits your supply zone. You're expecting it to start pushing lower. It does a little bit, then it starts to turn back around against you, and then you start to see a green candle close right after another green candle. Maybe that second candle that closes right after that first up candle, go ahead and get out, and don't let it tap you out at the back end of the supply zone where as supply and demand style traders, we would put our stop losses. Okay. And it just depends where you put your stop loss at, okay? But just practice proper risk management and trade management, I say. All right. So don't feel too bad if you have lost, small amounts of money in the market, okay? Maybe 500 here, 500 there, but just don't do it over and over. You meaning, you put a $500 into account or $1,000 in your account trying to trade the micros. You blow through that money. You do it again. If you're doing it multiple times, that starts to stack up and add up real quick. And that's where you really need to determine what you're doing wrong. Okay, I wouldn't allow that to happen too many times. Now, if that does happen, and at that point you're gonna have to really realize and speak to your own self and say, hey, I'm doing something incorrect. All right, something is not clicking. I'm not being able to see something. I'm not trading correctly. Maybe I just have too much going on my charts. Things are just becoming overbearing. Take a break. Take a step back from trading. Okay. Now, I can't tell you how long to take that step back, but I would recommend shutting down maybe a week or two. Go back to the drawing board, or just for that instance, maybe take a week off. Clear your mind. 2 weeks off. Clear your mind. And then maybe gear back up. And when I say that, I mean back yourself away from everything when it comes to the markets as a whole. All right. Allow yourself a breather to refresh your mind, and then maybe come back to the charts with a better perspective, maybe a new perspective, and maybe spend some time while you are away from the charts, away from everything electronically when it comes to trading, to start to do some reading. Okay, all right, maybe you want to do that. All right, find a good book. I could recommend one right now, Trade in the Zone. All right, a great book. So, by the way, what I'm trying to say here is that just take a step back. We all have to do that, okay? All right, even the best, all right? I will say that. Sometimes we just have to take mental breaks for one. Even if you're an experienced trader, we need to take a vacation. We can take a mental break to just kind of just cleanse ourselves, just kind of refresh our mind, because the markets can get the best of us sometimes, and things can get frustrating, especially if you take, even the most experienced level trader can take a loss anywhere during the week. Say for instance, maybe you went 4 for 1, you took a severe loss, whatever the case is, but you were able to be able to profit at the end of the week. But that's probably when you needed to discover and ask yourself, maybe I need to take a breather. I really need to take a breather and refocus a little bit, or just kind of recharge. Okay. All right. So do yourself that favor. If you are continuously losing money within the market, you're not doing something correct, go back to the drawing board. I'm not saying reinvent, but maybe look at what you're doing, okay, and try to gain a better edge, all right? Refocus, maybe zero in a little bit more. Educate yourself a little bit more on what maybe you're doing incorrectly. Another thing, determine how profitable you are. If you are using or find a strategy or maybe create your own strategy and it's not that effective, you're only having maybe a 50 to 60% win rate. And some people who actually maybe have a large size fund account, maybe 50% works for you. Maybe you're taking, or 60% works for you. Maybe you're getting big wins, and then maybe you're taking on some losses or whatever the case is. But your wins are greater than your losses. Maybe that's okay for you. I believe in definitely having a lot higher percent win rate versus more than 60%. I mean, 75% or more to me is you're batting pretty good. Okay, that means you are winning more than you're actually losing. 50%, you're kind of breaking even in a sense. I mean, you're up some, you're losing some, so you're losing just as much as you're making. Okay, so you need to be somewhere, to me, above 75%. All right, and I'm seeing individuals within our Discord community that are learning the correct way of trade, even though we are scalpers. There's nothing wrong with being a scalper or day trading and making your pips, your ticks, whatever, points, whatever you want to call it, and quickly getting out of the market. 2 hours in, from 9:30 to 11:30 or 8:30 to 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and getting out the market. Okay, especially when volume starts to drop back. So determine if your profitability or your percent to your win to loss ratio is great enough. If not, then again, you need to stop and refocus, retweak your strategy, or maybe find a new strategy as a whole. Now, I would say this: don't continue dropping or spending money scouring the internet trying to find some holy grail of a strategy that's going to work. Every strategy, I do not care what it is not going to provide you a 100% win rate every single time. Okay. Again, practicing proper risk management, trade management is the key to knowing, for your own sake, to knowing when to get out of a trade. That's going to help your win to loss ratio. Getting out of a trade sooner than later, then making back up that small loss and then continue to make wins is going to increase that win rate. That's the key. Okay. Now, a lot of people, again, they look for, and I would recommend definitely doing this, if you have somebody in your corner, or somebody that has a experienced level trader in their pocket that can become a great mentor, I would definitely reach out to them and see. Okay. Now, I don't have a mentor program, guys, to where I'm doing mentorship. I create and provide all this valuable information pretty much for free. I'm putting it out there pertaining to supply and demand and how I trade it. Okay. So I don't have anything to hide. I'm just pushing it out there because I want to see people succeed. Okay, that's the bottom line goal. This is my way of giving back and helping other people move forward and become successful. And those that have followed the channel and watching the videos religiously have definitely picked up on the style or way I trade, and maybe have tweak it a little bit to work in their own favor, or maybe, I said from the beginning, make it your own. You could take what somebody else has and just rebrand it to make it your own, in a sense, okay? Or change it a little bit. Maybe you have something that works, and maybe you want to take the pieces of how I trade and merge the two together. Nothing wrong with that. Make it your own. All right. Or if you just want to simply use and trade the way I do, and it works for you, congrats. There are people over in our Discord community every single day that profit and follow the strategy of how I trade, and they're doing very well themselves. If you don't believe me, you can ask some individuals in the Discord. Okay. And how are they able to get to where they're at? Come on to the Discord. Reach out to some of the people that comment and say, Mike, thank you for your what they call teachings. I'm not a teacher. I don't claim to be a teacher, but they thank me for showing them the way, and they practice, whether it's back testing and forward testing, and solve for themselves what works for them. And they appreciate me providing the content that I do on a daily that has enabled them, or has abled them, I should say enabled, but has abled them, or allowed them to become successful, or start to see that turn, start to see the light through the tunnel and start to trade, and now have a higher percent win rate. Okay. So congrats to everyone out there, all those traders out there that have, and thank you for constantly, with the positivity. I appreciate your thanks. I appreciate your gratitude. And I thank you for just sticking with it, watching the videos or even reaching out to me or a fellow community member and asking questions, because that's what it helps the tide turn, turn the page to a new chapter, to, when you start to ask questions that start to put the puzzle together for you so that you're able to become a profitable trader. And that you, not just that, but are able to see things unfold, and you see that shift, to where you were once in maybe a rut and didn't know really how to get out of it, and you're still trying to figure out all the pieces, and now you are putting the complete picture together. And I said this time and time again, when it clicks, right? So appreciate all the positive comments. Again, I'm not a mentor. I don't have a mentorship program. So what I do is I provide lots of information on the Discord community. I share my trades. I answer DMs. I provide lots of videos and content through the videos or the means of the videos that I post on YouTube. So again, I highly recommend, if you're not a subscriber at this time, go ahead and click on the sub button and make sure to turn all your post notifications on. Make sure you can click on that subscribe button. When you do that, it's going to say all. If you click on all, it's going to make sure that all your post notifications are turned on so you never miss one of the uploads. You do not want to miss any of the valuable content that I have on the channel. The channel is packed with over 500 videos. Yes, it's a lot of video and a lot of content, but most of it is me kind of reiterating all the time about supply and demand and how I trade. Some are live videos, some are, or actually live. When I say live videos, I mean live trading session or live recorded videos, as well as lots of videos that cover valuable content pertaining to the way I trade, and covering various concepts or topics when it comes to trading as a whole, especially supply and demand. So I highly recommend you clicking on that sub button now and making sure you have all your post notifications turned on. And please, at this moment, if you do not mind, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, click that like button, and drop a like on the video. Okay? If you love the value, or if you find value in the content of what I'm pushing out today, this is more so to help you individuals out there that may be struggling or are on the cusp of the page turning, or chapter moving on to the next chapter in your trading venture. Okay, but but look, if you're interested in even gathering further information or digging a little deeper and really wanting to understand, because people ask me this all the time, how can they join the elite membership? The elite membership is $6.99 a month, guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop here and I want to cover this because people ask me about this all the time. Just click on the join button next to the, I believe it's next to the subscribe button. By doing so, there will be 2 tiers that pull up, and this is through the YouTube channel. You can click on the join button on any video on the channel, or I believe also on the homepage. Click on the join button, join by becoming or clicking on the next thing, clicking on elite member or elite channel member. $6.99 a month. How many of you guys spend more than that on the price of a cup of coffee a day, or your beverage of choice on a daily basis? Okay, what do you receive? You get the trade breakdown. So I just posted a new video, I think yesterday it was. I gave a trade breakdown on a trade that I took Thursday going into Friday. Trading session or overnight session. I post those trades because I go into in depth or detail about my entries. So it's kind of like, in a sense, your own trading course, to where I'm breaking things down as if, virtually, but you can watch me break them down as if you're sitting right next to me. So you will understand my mindset, I should say. I'm sorry about that. And what I was thinking gearing up to my trade entry. Okay, and even after the trade or while I'm in it, I'm explaining every step and every bit along the way. But also, you get the video playlist. That's just where I picked out, I think, the most pertinent videos, or the ones that are the most impactful with great content that I feel that are geared to really explaining everything as in a whole when it comes to my style and the way I trade. Okay, now these videos are on the YouTube channel, but I've hand selected these links so that you don't have to watch 500 videos. Okay, so you get the video playlist, you get the trade breakdowns, the emojis, the badges, the priority reply to comments, things of that nature for $6.99 a month. Okay, so that's just your way of supporting me as a content creator. Okay, basically, and being loyal to the channel and saying, I want to thank Mike for what he does each and every day. And I thank each and every one of you, because it's a ton of you that have signed up for the Elite membership, and lots of you are now on your ways to becoming profitable or are already profitable. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's move on to the next one or two things that I have on my list. And along with finding maybe a great mentor, it may come with a price, okay? And and lots of them probably may have a trading course or whatever the case is. All right, so if you find someone that has a great trading course, and maybe all this content that I have with all these videos is enough for you as a whole when it comes to saying, hey, Mike has everything on his channel. He doesn't have like an actual trading course you could, full on that you can click on, and it has a list of content, of videos, or just layouts of screenshots of information. You just have to spend some time watching the videos. I mean, it's there. That's why I recommend the elite membership as well, for $6.99. But outside of that, some people or some traders may charge a price, and it could be pretty hefty. But sometimes you have to pay for education, right? So outside of that, let's move on to the very last thing that I have. Now, this last thing doesn't really pertain so much to a way to really help transform you. Someone that is constantly having an issue with watching their funds be depleted because they just can't figure out the trading piece correctly. And then they become frustrated, thinking or believing that trading is just gambling. Lots of people think that trading is gambling. No, it is not a means of gambling, ladies and gentlemen. This is real business, and you can make a business and a living 100%. Some of the most successful people in this world, some of the most wealthy, some of the most richest people in the world are traders, that become very wealthy, do so through the means of investing their money into the markets. Okay, so understand that piece. All right, so trading is based on probability. This business is based on probability, low risk and high risk probability. Okay, and calculated risk as well. So understand that this is not a going to Vegas or any casino and a pull of the draw of pulling a slot machine or playing at a table. All right, this is real business, and it takes lots of logical thinking. But the overall, major thing about trading and being able to understand is, what are the big players really trying to do? The major institutions and banks, what are they really trying to do and trade and be on the same bandwagon like them? Okay, so again, I want to see everybody succeed. Don't get frustrated if you just lost a little bit of money here and there, but yes, it does add up. So stop doing that. Really go back to the drawing board and figure out what it is that you maybe not be doing correctly. And I can tell you, if you're constantly losing money, okay, over and over and over again, then you're not understanding the bigger picture of what the bigger players are really trying to accomplish. And you have to be able to see the footprint of what they're trying to accomplish on the charts. The charts don't lie. It's in front of you. You can see the moves. You don't need any fancy indicators to show you that. If somebody tells you that, they're lying to you, okay? So that's all I have today to share with you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Please, hopefully you allow this information to absorb and sink in if you're someone out there that's continuously busting or blowing through your account. And because I don't want to see you, continuously losing thousands of dollars into the market. You need to stop at some point and kind of refocus. All right. But that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. To all those that have traded today or are still trading, please be safe in the markets as well. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.